Hi guys, I'm back. And today we are working with the Arteza Premium Metallic Acrylics again. I'm also going to use the Mars Black pouch paint and the titanium white pouch paint from Arteza as well. These are going to be the background colors. We are going to do some World's Tiniest Chain Pulls again. I don't know if any of you have seen the last World's Tiniest Chain Pull video, but those were actually turned out really cool. So if you haven't seen that one, go back and check it out. And I just used white and phthalo blue, and they just turned out so neat. So what we're going to do with these tiniest chain pulls is we're going to create some jewelry with them. So we've got this one right here. It doesn't have resin in it yet. I just did it yesterday. So I like to let it, the glue underneath dry for at least a few days before I pour resin over it. So it looks kind of dull right now, even though you can kind of see the shimmeriness of the metallics. It's going to really pop once we pour that resin in it. And then we had a black one with a little black background, so I think it's going to look super cool. And then I've also got, when your chain pulls don't work out great, you can always take little pieces of the chain pulls, because some of the little pieces can look super cool. Now the background here is not the titanium white 2 paint. It is it's one of these metallics. It's the pearly white. And then on top of that, I can't remember what the color is. Strawberry red, I believe. So even the edges of your little chain pulls can be cool for jewelry. So let's move those out of the way. As you can see, I've got a quarter sitting there. That's for size reference. So when we do our little chain pulls, you can kind of see, how tiny this chain is. It's just an old necklace chain. And it's the smallest one I could find. So we're going to move these out of the way. This is just sort of I like to use just like a paint sample or something, or sometimes I use like the back of receipts. Whatever paper's lying around, and I'll take whatever colors I'm going to use for today, and I'll just sort of take my finger and swipe them on a card and let them dry so I can see how great they're going to look together. It's a nice little tip, because sometimes you think, you get a color out and you look at these across here and it doesn't really match. It's an idea of what the color is, but unless you put it down on paper and really look at the color, now, because see, look at this blue. This blue, across here, it's kind of dull, not real exciting, but then you look at what the color actually is, and really super pretty. So, and this one, this looks like a brown label, but it's actually the marmalade. So don't let the labels fool you. These are gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So, test out your colors before you start working with them. We're going to move these out of the way so I don't paint on them. And remember to keep your metallic Arteza box, because it's perfect for storing these little tubes where they won't get smushed, because they are made of metal. And if you smush them and then open the top, your paint will squirt out. So we've got this here. We're going to work with this. So I'm going to show you what I was working with yesterday. Some different colors. Just real quick. This is what we're going to be doing today. Sort of something like this. Now this is bigger than the chain pulls I did before. I did way smaller chain pulls. But I've discovered that even these work really well for pendants. So this is my template. This is for one of my really big pendants. But you can see how kind of neat it's going to look once it dries and we get it cut out. And then I've got a smaller one, and you can kind of see, you can really place it anywhere, and it's going to be a neat looking pendant. So that was just all the colors I had mixed up yesterday. And then I tried doing it also on the actual backgrounds are the metallic colors as well. I didn't care for those as much. This one, I had the white too thick, and for some reason the photo paper kind of went like this. So everything, you can kind of see where it kind of slid down. So that one's not real great, but a little piece of it might be good still. And then this, also I realized when you do the metallics on the metallics, you kind of lose a little bit of the, I don't know, some of these colors are real translucent. So this was the white. which was this color right here. So you kind of lost it. But still pretty. I think it'll still make a few pieces of cool jewelry. And this was the space gray on the background. So that one might make, I might have one cute little pendant from that. And then I did the black. And the black is so awesome with these colors. Let me see if I can kind of move it around a little bit so you can see the shimmery. Oh, look how pretty that is. We'll focus. Well, I was going to try and focus on that. Not focusing. Maybe it's too shiny. Okay, so anyway, you can see how beautiful and shiny and pretty those are. I love them on the black background. So we'll do one today where we do one on white and we do one on black, and you can kind of see, how pretty those are. And then this last one, I actually coated the entire card in the white, just the plain white titanium white paint. And then I just did a bunch of little chain pulls through it. Brought them all the way down to the bottom so the bottom doesn't look ratty. I think it would look pretty cool if we actually put this one maybe in a frame. Who knows? But it looks kind of neat to me. So those are the kind of things you can do with these little bitty chain pulls. Let's get these out of the way. But the black, I think, is my absolute favorite. I don't know why. It's just so pretty. So let's move these out of the way so we don't get any paint on them so we can use them later. Far away. There we go. And yeah, let's get started. So I think what we'll do first is the white. And we're just going to do half of the page. But I did discover yesterday, if you just sort of pour your paint on and kind of smear it around so it looks kind of lumpy with, with your popsicle stick or whatever you're using to move it around, it will, the titanium white dries fine. It dries smooth. But if you do that if you want to use like the metallics as a background as well, you need to pour them across the top here and then let them fall down like you would on a canvas. Not that way. You want them to fall down from the top like a waterfall so that you have a nice smooth background surface. Because if you don't, like I said, with the white it's fine, but if you do that with the metallics, they're going to stay kind of lumpy, and you don't want that. So you just kind of pour it down. And I've discovered a little trick. If you take your pot, since it's obviously not going down evenly, shove your paint back up there until it catches everything else, and then it'll start coming down a little more evenly. I like to kind of go along the side there. Kind of make just a nice even canvas, if you will. And this is moving as slow as molasses in January. Let's see if we can help it out a little bit. There we go. And you can shove it back up and let it fall back down again. And it'll go a little more evenly. And then when you get to the bottom, dump off the excess. So I'm going to sit here with my thing over the cup for just a second so that we can get all the excess off, because you don't want a lot of extra white on there. You don't want a lot of your background color on there, because when you pull your chain through, it'll be pulling all that paint, and you want it to have to pull as little paint as possible. So I'm just, taking it to the edge of the cup and dragging, sort of tapping it so most of it runs off. And there you can see we have a nice smooth surface. And I also have a dry washcloth over here and a cup of nice warm water. So I'm going to take my chain, and after I'm done dragging it through, I'm going to dip it in the water a few times and take my dry washcloth and dry off the chain before I put it back into the colors. Because if you don't do that, yeah, you're going to be sorry. You don't want to add that water back into your colors. So my paint is fairly thin, thinner than I would have it for a pour. And I'm just dipping it in the color, and then I'm going to pinch just ever so slightly with this chain. Very delicately pinch it. And then we're just going to start forming our little flower, or whatever you want to call it. And this one's going to end up being a little big. But like I said, you can use pieces. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be just one single piece. But maybe we'll, maybe for the black, we'll do a little smaller. Because the ones I did before, they were smaller. And there was actually one that I did that, I did it in a circle, and I sort of brought the chain into the center, and just a few little swipes, and it really turned out pretty cool. So, I think we're just going to do, I don't know. I really don't know on this one. We'll do some purples and some pinks. And then maybe for the bottom, we'll just do green. So we'll kind of make like a flower with it. But the best laid plans, you guys know what happens with best laid plans. They don't always pan out, or, you know, I tend to change things up a lot. And the skinnier you place your chain pieces together, obviously the skinnier your little petals are going to be. Now I did the video that I created yesterday with the ones that I was experimenting with. I was going to show it to you guys, but it got longer and longer, and then it split in half, and then my battery ran out. My battery died, and my storage ran out on my phone. So it was in 3 big pieces, and it was way over an hour long, and I don't want to do that to y'all. So I just deleted it. Okay, I don't see. I kind of, sometimes I get to where I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with it now. And pull your chain gently towards the center before you pull it down. That way your lines that you created will stay. And see, that we can cover over with another. Any mistakes you make, you can always cover them over with your next chain pull. I tend to make a lot of, you know, because like I said, it's starting to pull the paint. So the paint is sort of starting to puddle a little bit right there. So let's go back to this color. And if you don't like what's going on, like say you don't like this little petal right there, just take your finger and swipe it off and add a little more white back to it, and that's perfectly fine. The white will dry flat. Now, if you did it with your metallics, you may have a little bit of a problem with that, but. And so we're going to go over that we didn't like, and back up again towards the center. And we're going to drag that one. There we go. And you can just keep layering them and layering them and layering them. And we could go straight all the way down with this. Or we could change over to the green and make some green petals. I kind of like this color combo. So I may just continue with that. I don't know. I really like the colors. So let's go with another purple real quick. Whatever color this was officially. I don't remember. And you want to overlap your petals. The overlapping creates depth. Makes it look like your little flower, or whatever it is you're creating, is 3D. So now what I can do, if I don't want all that pink in there, if I want to do some green, I can wipe that off, which I'm seriously considering doing, because I don't want all that pink in the green. Now, we will have some of that pink in the green, and that's okay. But we're just going to wipe all that off of there. And put some white back on there. And like I said, with the white, with the titanium white, if you're doing that, it's perfectly fine. It'll flatten out, and you won't see the difference unless you accidentally get some color in there. We're going to let it flow down just a little bit. But not for very long, because we don't want our little flower to go. We're going to leave that. That's probably going to get caught by a chain pull. All right, so let's go with the green and see what we can create. Now, like I said, these are a bit bigger than my other ones, but that's partly because I tend to get a little more adventurous as I go along. Okay, so let's see what that's going to do. And then we're just going to layer up all the green leaves down towards the bottom. I'm not thrilled with that with that sort of rounded part of it. I don't like that. But we'll go over it with some more green. This is a slow process. I'm sorry if the video ends up being a little long. It probably will be. It's just a really slow process to get these little chain pulls accomplished. Because you have to, dip it in the paint, slowly put it on your canvas, slowly pull it off, wash it off, dry it off, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's a little time consuming. But I think well worth it if you can get a cool piece out of it, right? And you don't have to put these in pendants, obviously. You can put them in little frames. You can cover them. You can glue them down to like a wood surface or something, and cover them in resin as little artworks. I like to call them desktop artwork. There we go. Okay, I think I'm done with that one. I kind of like it. It's kind of pretty. I'm kind of learning, as I went along just now, that I shouldn't have done that rounded part right there, that first one, because the way these go up, they look like leaves, but that one doesn't. So next time we'll know better. So there we go. There's our first little chain pull on white. And I think it looked cute. I hope you guys were in focus. I'm not sure. Not sure if you were or not. So let's see, how much time are we in? Okay, we're in 19 minutes. So I think we can do another one. We'll do the black. Let's set this aside. And as I mentioned before, if you leave part of this blank, you can set something down on top of it, and it'll dry. It'll stay flat, and your little flower won't be bye-bye. So just, find something to set on top of it. And move your colors out of the way. And we'll get one more piece of paper, one more piece of photo paper here. And I'm going to make sure I don't have any white on my hands, because I don't want the white to mix in with the black. Again, this is the Arteza black, Mars black. So you can just get like a pendant. That's a pendant that this was actually a painting, and the painting, there were parts of it that were good and parts of it that I didn't like, so I decided to cut up, and that's what I'm doing with all my paintings, is turning them into pendants. This does not have resin on it yet. It's waiting to be resined, so it will be even prettier once it's got resin on it. I certainly hope. Please don't go off. There we go. So let's move that out of the way. All right, add a little more black to the top there. And I have no plan for the black, just like I really had no plan for the white. But again, we're going to let it flow down. And hopefully it'll do it a little faster this time. Thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. There we go. Again, like I said, you've got to have this paint thinner than your pouring paint. And my tip for pouring, just because we're waiting on this black to go down, I tell you guys this again and again. Make your paint a little thicker than you think it should be. And if it doesn't work, make it a hint thicker the next time. Because I guarantee a lot of the problems out there are paint that is too thin. Your cells can turn wispy and chalky and cloudy looking, and they're not all nice and neat and perfect if you don't have your paint thick enough. So, tip of the day, make sure your paint is nice and thick. Okay, so there's that one. Let's go ahead and pick some colors. We didn't use the blue, so we'll use the blue and maybe that color and that color. I don't know, maybe we'll use all the colors. Doesn't really matter. Just pick whatever you like. There is no rhyme or reason to this. Let's start with the blue. And you know, you don't have to do any kind of pour painting or chain pulls or anything with these paints. You can just paint with them straight out of the tube, and they are so pretty. And they really are. You guys have to listen to me. Okay, we'll start off with a little one. See that right there? That's it. We're done. It's just something about the simplicity of these little teeny tiny chain pulls. They're just kind of neat. I mean, I could be done right there. Completely done. But that wouldn't be too exciting for you guys, so let's keep going. We'll use this marmalade next. And remember to pull slowly, because if you pull too fast, you might damage one of your pieces that are already down because you're not paying attention. So if you just go slowly, you can see which way the chain is going. That's really important. Otherwise, you'll end up with everything coming down instead of across. So let's put some green in there. I have a feeling we're going to end up using all the colors. Let's go up that way with it. And that way with it. And make sure you keep your chain flat as you're dragging it along, because if you don't, what will happen is it will leave a big pocket of undisturbed paint in the middle, and it'll look like junk. And remember, these colors are slightly cloudy with the floetrol mixed into them, so they will be, like you saw in the piece that I did yesterday, that I showed you at the beginning of this video. They really turn out gorgeous once they're dry. Oh, don't want to pull that. So we're getting a little bit of a puddle right there. Have to be careful about that. But we can pull it down with our next. Now this, I think, would be something cool to do with those mini canvases that we used a few videos ago. The little bitty canvases that we used just to play around with. I think these would be really, if you did some mini chain pulls on those and then put them up on the little easels, I think those would be really cute. Great little desktop artwork. I think we're going to end up going over that green. It's bothering me, just sticking out, just that little teeny tiny piece of green. Yeah, I like those colors. There is not one color in this entire set that is not pretty. They're all absolutely just gorgeous. So, I know I'm talking them up a lot, but I love metallics anyway, and the color palette that Arteza has chosen for these is just phenomenal. I've picked up some companies' metallics and really didn't care for their choice of color palette, but this one I really love. Just got every color that you could possibly want, and towards the middle and drag it back down. And as you can see, we're getting a little fatter, a little messier, but that's okay. We can cover that up. Don't forget, we can cover it up. Just find another color. This is time consuming, yes, but it's fun to see how the little chains sort of pull the paint this way and that way. And we're getting bigger and bigger. That's what happens when you do more than just a few little chain pulls. You get bigger and bigger to cover up the mistakes from last time, but they still look cool. So no complaints. It's just amazing how different they look on the black and the white. So, try both ways because they both look so pretty. Make sure you're dragging it across the canvas and not pulling it up. That way it pulls all that paint off. I know I said that, but just trying to remind you as I go along. Let's see, the pink, I believe, yes. So you guys check out the links below. I've got all the Arteza links for every product that I've used so far. In every Arteza video, I've got all the links for all the products. So use my affiliate link below to order you some of these gorgeous, 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 gorgeous colors. And it'd be like you're donating to my channel. and it's at absolutely no cost to you. You just, and I also have a promo code. It's good until February 14th. So get yourself a discount with the promo code. I think I'm going to do blue, even though I'm supposed to go with the lavender, I think, next. I'm going to go with, I think I accidentally skipped the lavender, but that's okay. We're going to go with the blue for the last little bit down at the bottom. You want to finish all the way to the bottom because you never know what's going to work. You know, you may have a piece at the very bottom that turns out super cool and you want to use it. So drag it all off. There we go. See that last little pull right there was pretty cool. So let's move our white one back over so you guys can see that. I don't want to set that on top of there. And now, there we go. If I can get a hold of it. There we go. There is the white. Set that on top of it so you guys can see that a little better. Okay, so let me get you down real quick. Okay, so here, when you look at it really close up like this, it looks pretty cool. There's the first one we did. There's the beautiful leaves. Pretty cool. And then over to the black. Now you can't see the shimmery iridescentness of it, but you can see how pretty the chain pull works. The way it pulls in, like look in this blue sort of petal right there, it makes it look more 3D when it pulls that black in because it gives it some shadow. And then down towards the bottom. Oh, they're so pretty. All right, so here's where I'm going to leave you. Let me put you back up real quick. Okay, I had to put you back up because I tend to shake a lot when I'm holding the camera. So anyway, here's where I'm going to leave you. I hope you guys enjoyed this today. The next part of this video, we'll do a part 2 where these are dry and the other pieces are dry, and we'll start cutting them up and creating some pendants with them. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please check out the links below, all the Arteza links below, including their YouTube channel. They got some really great ideas on their channel, so check them out and order some of these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous metallics from Arteza. And wherever you're on the planet, I hope you're having a lovely day. And don't forget to watch the ads for me. I love you all. Thank you so much for donating to my channel and all the wonderful comments and emails. See you later. Bye.